All right, welcome to Lights, Camera, Barstool. Today we have a little bit of a long break due to the Dozen tournament. Obviously, Gooch has been very busy. But today we have a review of a pair of movies. We're going to be doing both two, I would say one's an interesting review. The second one's a good movie. The first one is Flight Risk, a movie that me and Klemmer saw together, and then another movie, Presence, which we all saw separately, in addition to a whole bunch of news that dropped recently. And Klemmer's been watching some, I would say, majority bad movies so far.
Some better than I think. I've been expecting the worst, like Valiant 1 or Dogman. I was going in there dreading it. I actually walked away kind of liking both movies, but then like Companion, I wasn't as high on.
But we'll talk about some of these in a bit. But first, news items. Jurassic World Rebirth's trailer, 5 years post-Jurassic World Dominion. An expedition braves the isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from three massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. Directed by Gareth Edwards, Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend. This is... at least I don't know how you feel about it, and I feel like it's pretty safe to guess that you didn't love them. Me and Gooch were not very high on the Jurassic World.
I didn't even see all of them. I saw the first one. I didn't really like.
Second one was so bad.
The first one's the best one, like by a wide margin. I think like by a pretty sizable 40-point gap. If you're doing,
I've yet to see a
scale.
Jurassic Park sequel that I've liked.
That's very fair.
and I love the first one. The first one is like an all-time great movie to me. Like top 40 all-time ever.
I like the third one.
Is there another franchise like that where the first one is just incredible and
Jaws?
Then it just living off of that? But Jaws didn't even. What did they make it to? 4? 4? This is. I mean, we're up to. This is going to be the 7th.
Yeah. And
Is this the 7th one?
This will be the 7th one. Yeah.
Oh my! And by the way, this trailer looks lousy.
Wrong. That's just wrong. I've been fooled by this franchise like you, or I guess not like you, since you just gave up on it.
I was fooled.
I get fooled by this franchise just every single time. Every single time one of these trailers drop, I know that it's 90% chance it's going to be bad, probably 100% chance I'm going to leave the theater disappointed. Something about these seeing a dinosaur on my screen just unlocks something so primal in me that I need to go see it. Like opening night on the biggest screen possible. I can't help myself. I'm pumped for this.
It's weird that to me, and I mentioned this when we talked about the last Jurassic World review. I don't know why Jurassic World has a monopoly on the dinosaur movie genre. Like the only one I can even think of in recent memory that tried it was 65, which was lousy as hell.
Do you count Godzilla?
Not really. It's not really a dinosaur. It's like a kaiju, which is like a different. It's not like a real creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like dinosaurs are real.
He also has like dragon qualities too.
Yeah.
Right?
You need for a real dinosaur movie, you have to have variety in the fauna. Like you need to have winged creatures. You need to have
and they're real, like
raptors.
At least like mostly real. Some hybrid created, whatever. But like they need to be like mostly real.
What about the good dinosaur?
So like The Land Before Time.
Land Before Time was a quality cartoon.
Yeah, that's a good cartoon. But
that came out pre-Jurassic Park.
Daddy Tops.
Yes.
So since Jurassic Park, to your point, they have had a monopoly.
Yeah, and it makes no sense to me. But like watching this trailer, I'm on both of your sides in that. Like I agree with you. Where I watched parts of this, where like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And then I watched like when I absorbed the entire thing, I'm like, but like the storyline, like the story of this, like the way that they're presenting it. First of all, we've seen it before in Jurassic Park, and second of all, like it's just like give us something fresh. Like they tried that, I feel like a little bit by putting dinosaurs on the mainland in this Domination, I guess, or
Dominion.
Sorry, yeah,
Bababooey.
Dominion.
Banana.
Yeah, the fucking Dominion. But they just didn't work, and I don't know. It just feels like it's a movie that we've seen 500 times before.
I should reclassify my original critique. This actually looks pretty impressive. I thought the effects looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The sound, so the words that people were saying were so horrific. The humor, if you will, of this trailer was just wincing. And it was like, this sucks because, like, I love the idea of Jurassic Park. I love the idea of dinosaurs and people, like, smashing together. Why can't you just write a good script? Like, this script stinks, it looks like. I mean, based on these jokes, it looks... The plot did nothing for me. I get you dig seeing dinosaurs on the screen, but is any other element of that appeal, like any other part of this trailer appeal to you at all?
Not really. Yeah. No. Scarlett Johansson looks hot in a tank top.
She does.
Yeah.
But then I feel like, are they wasting her and Ali like here? Like
I mean,
this is a long shoot, and they could have been doing something better.
What I mean, this movie probably cost like $250 million, and 150 of that probably went like split between Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah. Like, okay, push your mic a little bit forward.
A little bit forward.
Lovely part of New York City.
Is this better?
A little bit, just a little bit. There.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, it's bizarre. And you know what's kind of weird is I do like the idea of like bringing something back from the dead is kind of cool. Like, why don't they do this with like a Neolithic caveman, where like that species of
Encino Man, probably sure.
Do in a less funny manner, because the pre-human or Homo sapien humans were like 3 times stronger than us and shit. Like, do something that could be cool.
Yeah, what if they were all like in the ice and you thawed them out and you had an army of these guys and they were mad at us?
An army of Neanderthals or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'd watch that.
Could be interesting.
I also don't understand why they want to make it so contrived. Why can't the dinosaurs be in other places? Like they teased that in the last one, the Dominion one, and they have the shot in the movie. Yeah. They only give it to you for like 2 seconds of the pterodactyl on top of One World Trade, and it's like, well, that'd be fucking cool to see. Dinosaurs like mauling New York City and how people would respond to that. But
they do it in The Lost World, the end of The Lost World.
The tail end of it.
They go to
like San Diego,
San Francisco, one of the two.
Forget, yeah.
But it's always
that's a disappointing movie. I remember walking out of the theaters being very disappointed with that.
Yeah. By the way, to give you just to wrap you up on the recent Jurassic World stuff. Then the second one, the whole plot of the movie is that a really rich guy stole a dinosaur and genetically programmed it to follow a laser pointer and attack things. So he was going to sell it as like a defense project thing. And so what you would have to do is you would point a gun with a laser on it at someone and wait for the raptor to attack that person.
Instead of just shooting the person.
Instead of just pulling the trigger.
It was crazy.
And then the whole big ending of it was like this little girl who was also a clone of like the rich guy's like dead daughter lets all of the raptors and dinosaurs loose on mankind. And they're like, why'd you do that? And she's like, because they're like me. And it's like, what are you doing, dude?
Makes you think.
Yeah.
Wow.
So stupid. Another big trailer that came out, the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. Marvel's first family faces their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes and the strength of the family bond, they must defend Earth from the ravenous space god called Galactus and his herald, the Silver Surfer. Directed by Matt Shakman, who we've interviewed before. Shakman's awesome, super, super talented director. He did, obviously, WandaVision within the MCU. He, I believe, helped out and produce some other Marvel stuff. But also, I think the big thing that people kind of miss with Shakman, he directed like the meat of It's Always Sunny, like all of their best episodes, like Matt Shakman directed. Like he is firmly in one of the best TV directing pantheons, to me anyway, in comedic recent history. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Eben Moss-Bachrach, Ralph Ineson, Julia Garner, Paul Walter Hauser, John Malkovich, Natasha Lyonne. Big cast. Obviously, it's a big Marvel movie. I thought the trailer looked solid. I think you get big, like retro futuristic vibe. I think the CGI from what we saw looked good. Lots of more practical looking sets outside of the space stuff. What I really, really enjoyed about this, which is something I feel like has been missing from a lot of trailers lately, is trailers seem to be like, here's 3 minutes of the entire story. And I'm going to give you literally everything. There's almost no point to go and watch the movie. It's a synopsis, a 3-minute synopsis of the movie. Instead, this is like, here's quick shot, quick shot, quick shot, quick shot. Not even getting a real look at Galactus. Here's like a shadow of him over a city. Like no real plot or story notes at all. And I loved that. I think this is a good, like structurally put together trailer. And it makes me kind of excited to watch it. So
I went online. So I go to like a lot of these I'm very obsessed with the box office stuff. And I like to look at the box office Reddit. And I go to these movie Reddits and message boards. So many people were down in this trailer, which I don't get at all. I thought this trailer looked great. I also like the pre-hippie 60s, like that clean look, like pre-66 style. I think it looked fresh. I'm intrigued by the performances there. I like the people involved with this. I don't know, man. There's 3 Marvel movies coming out this year, right? We got this one, Fantastic Four. We got the Captain America, and what am I forgetting?
Thunderbolts.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm by far the most excited for this one out of those 3. By far. I don't know. The trailer. I also like the Fantastic Four, and I've been waiting for them to do it right. And this seemed like maybe they're gonna get it, and I'm amped. This is in my top of blockbusters, top 3, 4, 5 of the year that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, no, looks good. And I will say something that's been missing from a lot of Marvel movies, and this isn't just like recent, like post Endgame. This has been going on since post Phase 1. They lack like a very clear stylistic distinction between the movies. This has a very different vibe from anything they've done ever, really, which gives me a lot of hope, especially moving forward post, this year, heading forward. Like, these directors need creative freedom so that these movies stop blending all together and feeling same. Outside of that, The Thing, what do we think? I think that is the one thing that people seem very hung up on. It's a good practical suit. I see what they're talking about, maybe movement-wise with CGI, but that's stuff that can be
There's
cleaned
not really
up.
a choice in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It needs to be a CGI.
I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. The thing's supposed to look kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like what the character is.
We're
Like,
never gonna
big
get the suit
orange-
back.
He's literally called the Thing. 'cause
Big orange stone man.
yeah, like it's kind of supposed to look stupid. I don't know. I don't know. I said I also like you made a great point, Kenjac, where so many of these trailers do tell you the whole story. This left enough intrigue, mystery. I got to give credit to the Superman trailer too for kind of doing the same thing. Another blockbuster I'm really excited for. So I don't know. I'm kind of all in on these new. I feel like there's a brighter look to some of these superhero movies, like Superman, Fantastic Four. I'm intrigued by some of the people developing them. I don't know. I'm all in on Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
So looking ahead to July, pick one between. We have Jurassic World, Rebirth.
Rebirth.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rebirth.
Yep.
Week after that is Superman. Then 2 weeks after that
Yeah,
is
not great
Fantastic
spacing
Four.
to be frank. It's not.
No.
Not
Yeah,
ideal.
no, I don't know why they do this.
Yeah, not ideal for anybody.
But if you had to pick one to go see,
between those three, I mean, I'm seeing Fantastic Four. Like, I don't really give a shit. To be frank, like or Jurassic World, like whatever it's gonna look like. I like Gareth Edwards. It's just like I don't.
I
give
think
a
we
shit
can
about
probably
that anymore.
toss Jurassic World out.
Yeah, I was gonna fuck, marry, kill. Like
Yeah.
we're all killing.
Okay,
Jurassic.
I guess that's
We're
the
all
best,
killing that,
the
yeah.
better question.
But,
Is
like,
fuck, marry, kill.
I marry Superman. Like Superman is. I'm also a DC guy. I love
Yeah.
Superman. I'm ready to go. Like let's go. Let's see what James Gunn can do. I'm not a huge James Gunn guy, so I'm kind of intrigued as far as what he can do.
Yeah.
Here, I don't know. And Fantastic Four though, I'm really those two by far to me. It's a different level than Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more intrigued by Superman, just because like there's a lot more stakes to that. Superman, that is, sorry. Superman is like a restart of DC. It's the start of the James Gunn universe. It's like there's so many like things tied into that, and it's fucking Superman. It's superhero 1A. Like that's humongously important. Next piece of news: Bill Skarsgård has been cast in Michael Saransky's The Death of Robin Hood, alongside Hugh Jackman and Jodie Comer. Saransky directed Pig, which is a great movie from a few years ago. The film follows Robin Hood grappling with his past after a life of crime, whilst in the hands of a mysterious woman after being injured. Like Misery, but Robin Hood, more or less. Like I don't know. This crew is fascinating.
Yes.
Like Comer's one of the top, to me, one of the top actresses working. Hugh Jackman, obviously incredible. Bill Skarsgård, also incredible.
Yeah.
You add a lot into Saransky, who did, again, incredible work in The Pig, and like very dark, twisted, weird shit in it. I like everything about this. The Robin Hood part is the only thing that I'm a little like, what the fuck is that doing here?
Is this a studio film, like a big studio film?
I will double check.
That's my question.
Can't imagine.
Because
Right?
Saransky obviously did Pig, very intimate neon
Yes.
movie, but then follows it up immediately with A Quiet Place Day One, which is
weird
just
pick.
a weird jump.
Which,
but-
by the way, is a bad movie.
oh, I see. I liked it quite a bit.
Oh,
I don't think it's great, but
that cat. How does that cat turn up everywhere?
the cat was the best part. I love that cat.
Immortal Cat. That was a lousy movie. I was very disappointed in that movie. That was one of the most, and I love the first one. That series has got progressively worse each movie.
See, I think they're about even, but I was less high on the first one than most people.
Oh, I was really high in the first one.
See,
really high in the first one.
Very hard to find information about this movie, but I'll find it out later. But yeah, I'm just interested, generally interested, I would say. Like,
No,
it's good. Everything about this is good, except the Robin Hood is the only part where I'm a little confused.
when was the last time we had a good Robin Hood movie? Because we went through a
Costner.
stretch where we had like 3 in a row that were terrible. That Taron Egerton and Jamie
Foxx one. Yeah, that was tough.
There was a
Did you guys see the
one,
Costner
the
one?
Russell Crowe one.
Does Men in Tights count?
No, sure.
I think I would say that's a pretty fun movie.
the costume one, Prince of Thieves, I think is actually like a good movie.
I think it's fine.
You got it was a wild cast. You got Morgan Freeman's in there, Christian Slater's in there.
Hell yeah.
Costner's Robin Hood was bizarre casting. I don't know. It has a great score.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like Alan Rickman's the bad guy. Like,
Rickman was good.
it's a pretty good movie. Like I know it's kind of goofy at times. I get it, but like to me, that's my Robin Hood.
So there's the one that we watched where he had the tailored shirts and all that shit. That was the Taron Egerton one. That was
Okay,
fun.
yes.
Then there's Robin Hood, the Ridley Scott one with
Russell Crowe,
which was not good either. The Robin Hood Men in Tights was the last one before that, so like a decent gap between those.
Right. And Robin Hood Men in Tights was parodying the Costner one.
Exactly.
Which was a monster hit at the time.
1991 Robin Hood with Uma Thurman. What the fuck? I don't remember this. With Patrick Bergen?
Yeah,
Bergen?
that was no one remembered that. That was not a movie.
The hockey player.
Robin.
He was a soap
Patrice
opera. I
Bergeron,
believe he was a TV actor. I want to say a soap opera.
And then 1976 Robin and Marion with Sean Connery
That's Sean
and Audrey
Connery.
Hepburn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Surprised we haven't gotten one actually the past few years with how many Eat the Rich movies we've had.
Yeah,
like
that's
a
true.
Robin Hood that feels very thematically relevant.
They think that's too on the nose, but then they'll go make like 800.
Robin Hood
more, like,
cartoon,
way
wasn't
worse.
there? Too?
Yeah, there was like the
Disney
cartoon
one.
Disney one, but
Yeah.
that was a Fox or whatever. Kate Mara and Rooney Mara are going to star in Werner Herzog's new movie, Bucking Fastered. The film is based on the true story of two inseparable twin sisters who live on the fringes of society. The most fascinating thing about this to me is like two aspects. Like them playing real sisters is cool because I don't know that we've seen them on screen together ever.
Trying to think.
I can't think
I
of
don't
the time
think.
we did.
Yeah.
And just Werner Herzog. He's just a fascinating cat to me. Very interesting director. I don't know anything about the real life story of it. I don't know the bucking faster thing. Like I don't know what totally that means in this case, but I don't know. Just an interesting casting of them two together.
I cannot remember the last thing Rooney Mara was in, and I think she
House
is
of Cards?
so fucking talented.
Oh, never mind. I thought I was thinking of Kate Mara.
No, Kate Mara she's been in some bad stuff.
She's married to Joaquin, right?
Rooney.
Is.
Yeah,
Rooney is. That's such a cool name. Just pulling just the two billionaire parents.
Yeah.
But she's a very good actress. I just cannot think of the last thing I saw her in.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make Girl in the Dragon Tattoo. They needed to follow that franchise up.
Yeah. Let's see.
Fincher should go back to that. Stop making weird shit for Netflix.
Let's see. What's the last thing she did?
I'm halfway there with you. I don't know if we need a second one, but I wouldn't mind him stop making weird shit for Netflix.
Oh, she was in
Yeah.
Woman Talking. I forgot about that. Not
But
great.
I don't know. I might have liked The Killer more than
Really? I was
It's close
I was
for
so
me.
low on The Killer compared to everybody
I think I was higher
else.
on it than maybe I should have been.
Nightmare Alley. I think that was like the start.
That was a good movie.
I didn't love Nightmare Alley.
Really?
I didn't love that.
Oh, I think that was a decent. The first half, especially. Second half, kind of.
That's what I think we're really.
That's fair. That's fair. I think that movie's like got a little under the radar.
I forgot she played Mary Magdalene.
Looks fantastic too. That movie.
Ghost Story too, very good.
Okay, yeah.
Before, yeah, not a ton.
No,
between those.
Nightmare Alley is the last thing I really remember her in. When she was very good in it.
And then there's I wanted to ask this because I don't know if you were big on the series. Buffy the Vampire is getting a sequel
It
series.
was never really for me.
Yeah.
I think I had a huge crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I think everyone.
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah. It was never really. I'm not really into that world. This goes too into fantasy for me.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone speaks highly of it. It's really, really well made, I guess.
My thought process was, and I think I tweeted as much after they broke this, was like Josh Whedon, and they're rebooting his TV stuff. Like Firefly should be up there. Like Firefly was an excellent TV show. Like really, really cool. I feel like a lot of shows kind of style jacked it. Like Mandalorian is just literally Firefly, just like with attached to a way bigger obviously IP. I would love if they would reboot that. And then lastly, just for news, the PR nightmare that is Emilia Perez, just Carla,
Every day, man.
Carla Gascon. Every day there's like a new thing about something she tweeted, something she said about like whether it's like Muslims, whether it's about like her tweeting that what's the fuck's her name?
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez is like an entitled rat that's trying obsessed with.
She tweeted that after they'd been cast together.
After they'd already been cast together. Like,
What was she thinking?
like
That was
tweeting
wild.
about
And
Hitler.
how did it take so long to come out?
I don't know. I have
don't
no
know.
idea. I think literally just the backlash to the amount of awards she got led to people digging into her shit.
Oh no! Well, I have a different theory on that. I think this Oscar campaign is fighting dirty. You got the AI stuff from Brutalist. You got the stuff, these old tweets. I don't think this is if this movie's never nominated for an Oscar, but I think these studios are at each other's throats.
Yeah.
This is getting dirty. This is the dirtiest one in a while since Weinstein.
Yeah, the Netflix one I think specifically is.
I was gonna say, who's running the campaign for Emilia Perez? It's Weinstein's old girl.
Yeah.
Who ran like the Shakespeare in Love campaign. Like it's the same woman who was running like all those crazy like how the fuck did this movie win campaigns. She's running the Emilia Perez campaign.
Doesn't this feel like that though?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, like back in the '90s, you would have this kind of like dirty play, and like every week in Entertainment Weekly or Premiere Magazine, you'd have another scandal pop up, and I feel like we're doing this again. Like, all right.
The interesting thing with Emilia Perez is like, so Netflix bought the movie for $12 million, and it said they spent like 3 times that just on the For Your Consideration campaign, just on getting it Oscar consideration.
Which Netflix famously has never won an Best Picture Oscar.
And they also Roma didn't.
Roma won Best Director.
Yeah.
They've been chasing this for a long time.
So they spent all this money, and Netflix is like notorious for this. They in the award season they spend tons of money getting their shit out there. Like for example, Emily in Paris gets nominated every year despite being awful.
What was the Jane Campion movie?
Yeah,
Power of the Dog.
They spent an insane amount trying to get that to win. And obviously Roma, we saw that. They spent the same
Irishman.
I remember with specifically with Emily in Paris, they flew out all of like the Golden Globe voters to Paris for the premiere. Like they do a lot of like really like they line the pockets of all these people, right? And this is what when you look at Emilia Perez anyway, it seems like that kind of happened too. And then what happened is they get 13 nominations, like again second most nominations in Oscar history. And it's almost like you ever see like a movie where like a nerd writes a paper for a bully. And the paper's too good, and the teacher's like, I don't believe you wrote this.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. It kind of happened to Emilia Perez because now people are like, well, now we need to audit this because clearly something is not right here. When we go and look at everything like that, every clip, every whatever that comes out of this movie, it does not look like it warrants this. So that happened.
It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. This movie stinks,
and it's
a bad movie. It's one of the worst movies that I don't know if I remember it since 1970. Has there been a worse movie nominated for Best Picture?
For this many Oscars, too.
No, just for Best Picture. Just
Crash, I think, is the only one that comes close.
Crash is a much better movie. I'm not saying Crash is great.
But I'm saying that is the only one that I think really comes close. Like, in terms of just even nominated, and crazy that it won, but in terms of nominees, I mean,
Driving Miss Daisy, I think, is worse than Crash. If we're going to talk about, like, Best Picture winners.
That's one I haven't seen.
But, but Driving Miss Daisy is miles ahead of Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez is a genuinely bad movie that somehow, like I said, 13 nominations, insane. It has no business being nominated for Best Picture. It has no business. It's stunning to me.
And everything about it is hilarious because like Mexico hates it.
Yes.
The federal government had to step in to enforce refunds from movie theaters for it. Like it's made by a French director, shot in France, no Mexican leads. Like even Gascon was like tweeting about how Spanish people are superior to Mexicans. Like all this shit is like it is an insane firestorm of like nobody likes this. How did this happen? And I think that there's going to be a lot of shit that comes out later about like the entire campaign for this movie. But that's for
I think you're right.
Yeah, but that's like a whole different time. And now Netflix, after all the Gascon stuff, is saying like we're not covering any of her flight to awards. We're not covering her awards campaign anymore. We're not bringing her anywhere. And the director too has been like, I don't associate with me here anymore. I'm not talking to her. Like
when I saw it, they did a Q&A afterwards, and they were buddy. So
yeah.
But I mean, that's the French for you. They'll turn on you the second they can do it. Yeah. They'll back out.
Which is weird too, because like in Europe they don't care about any of that shit usually. Like Polanski's still like the toast of the town. Right. No. They don't care about
Woody
any
Allen
of that shit.
too.
Yeah, Woody Allen as well. Exactly.
By the way, they're changing the Oscar production because of this. So you used to have, if you noticed recently, they have what they call the Fab Five. So what they'll have a former best, whatever, in this case, best actress winner says like these, nice things about this person.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Like some of them are good, and some of them are like you get up there and they don't know the person at all, and they're just
it feels weird and disingenuous.
It was cool when like Mel Gibson did it for like
Robert Downey Jr.
Because like because they're story together.
But because no one wants to do it for her. For Gascon, so they're gonna scrap that entire thing. So they're literally changing the entire production based on how hated this woman is now in Hollywood.
That's another part of it too. Is like I think they thought that this was gonna be some big banner thing for like the trans community, but the trans community hates it too. Like everybody dislikes it.
Well, it's tough because we've had very great kind of deserving trans movies come out this year, and this is the one that got rewarded. So it like double like. It really raises the awareness of like, oh man, we're giving it to this one. Like this is the movie. Like it's getting attacked from all sides, and I think it should. So
bad movie. Nothing that makes sense, and I can't wait for there to be more digging done into this.
How crazy will it be now if it wins though? It gets crazier.
I don't think it ever had a chance to win because of ranked voting. I don't think it ever had. I think enough people, even if this scandal hadn't come out, would have had it last. That it had no chance to win Best Picture. Now other categories.
I think it could still win technical
because they're not ranked voting as other categories. So
I think it could definitely win some of the other ones. But I think
I don't think it can win anything now.
I think like stuff below the line or whatever.
I don't know. I feel like there's so much stinky doo doo around this movie. Like this movie just smells like shit now.
That's true. And everyone, but the other thing too is like it being like an industry award. They like as much as we like to think that like the public outcry is really super influential. It's really not. Like they don't really care that much. So it's just something to think about.
Usually, at least the critical response is somewhat indicative, and here it's thrown out the window, like because critics really don't like the movie either. Like American critics, at least, especially don't like it. So it is just shocking that there's such a disconnect between even the critics and the industry
and the public.
And
the public who have seen this movie don't like it. The average film goer who obviously you probably. If you watch this podcast, you're probably someone who would have watched the movie. You have to be kind of a movie fan probably to check it out if you're an American audience. Even they're rejecting it too.
Yeah.
Everyone is rejecting this movie. So like I'm stunned. This is one of the most stunning Oscar events of my lifetime is that this movie got 13 nominations. I can't remember being more stunned about a bad movie. It's bizarre.
It's fascinating. Like across the board, it is one of like just the most fascinating stories. And I can't wait for more to come out about it. But before or now we should go into our movie reviews. Again, two of them, Flight, Risk, and Presence, and then afterwards we're doing a little bit of a treat, a little Oscars draft. But first, Flight Risk. Me, Owen, and Klemmer went and saw this together. A pilot transports an air marshal accompanying a fugitive to trial. As they cross the Alaskan wilderness, tension soar as trust is tested. Not everyone on board is who they seem. Directed by Mel Gibson, starring Michelle Dockery, Mark Wahlberg, and Topher Grace. I think we were excited because like the concept of this is cool, right?
Yes.
Like being stuck in a plane with somebody you don't know how to fly. Like Mark Wahlberg playing a villain for the first time in like 3 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like cool. Awesome. Everything about this generally seems great. In spurts, I think this movie had that, like, you see that potential realize in very, very limited spurts. But at the same time, I think this movie, it was shot very quickly, right? It was shot in
like 18 days.
Yeah, like 18 days. And that's fine. There were so many mistakes made in the post-production of this movie that it makes me, like, shocked that Mel Gibson is attached his name to it. Like, it feels like he came in and did 2 weeks of work and was like, you guys take care of the rest. I'm out of here. And because there's so many mistakes, there are just a lot of, like, weird moments. And, like, some of the humor works, sometimes it doesn't. Some of the action's are really cool. Some of it's not. And then there's just weird off-tone moments. Like, there's one thing that really stuck out to me. And I remember while we were watching it, I was looking at you like, what the fuck is happening? The whole, like, Hassan... air control guy, flirting with them in the middle of it.
Why?
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I couldn't tell if that was like gonna be like a plot point that like, you know, there's a big twist that he's actually like a villain.
That's what I thought too.
And then he just shows up.
And he's like, hey, what's up? Cheering when he shows up. Like, hey, like that guy was a riot. Like, this movie, how you view this movie depends on how seriously you're gonna take it.
Yeah, for sure.
It like to Kenjac's point, it might be the worst edited major feature film that I've ever seen. There's so many times when someone's talking, like I'm talking to you right now, and the next shot, I'm still like, it's just like so many continuity errors. It's just bizarre. A plane literally goes through a mountain at one point and comes out unscathed. Like, it is just bizarrely. But if you're willing to embrace the stupidity of it and you're willing to have fun with how stupid it is, it's a perfect movie with the boys. Like, the three of us had a blast laughing at it.
We were laughing our ass off, man.
Like, if you're just like willing to go and do that, then it's like, it's enjoyable. I cannot recommend this movie though. Like, I can't like tell people to go see it because it's like so stupid and
it's a TNT banger. I think that's one. Yes. You throw that on TNT, like, oh, I'll watch for this part.
Wahlberg's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem is he's incapacitated for half the movie.
Yes.
So that's a major issue. Topher Grace does Topher Grace things. Dockery's fine. It's perfectly fine. I can't hate this movie because it's just funny enough to love. I mean, there's literally a CGI moose in the movie.
That was
so
CGI
I mean,
crazy.
In the opening shot.
For no reason.
In the opening shot.
For no reason, there's a CGI moose. So it's like, all right, this is what we're here for. Now, Mel Gibson, at one point, was one of the most talented directors in Hollywood.
Dude, so good.
His filmography is isn't this like his first since Hacksaw Ridge?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
He has like Braveheart, Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ, Hacksaw Ridge, Flight Risk.
He also did Memoirs of an Invisible Man, I believe, right?
Was that his first one?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Getting that right, or is it the Chevy Chase movie?
Or is it the guy with the burned face? It's
That's what I'm talking about.
He directed an Australian movie, didn't he, first or something?
He may have. I think Memoirs of an Invisible Man was a bad Chevy Chase movie. Let me find the right name of this. Because the first movie he directed, actually, was pretty good, if you haven't seen it. It came out in the early 90s. But it certainly is miles above this one.
Yeah, The Man Without a Face, Braveheart.
Man Without a Face, that's what it's called.
Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto.
Which is about a man whose face is burned and he's kind of like hiding away. But it's not a good movie, but it's a really good first director. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a perfect like trial run. It has so much more heart and soul and passion in 3 minutes than this movie has the entire time.
Yeah.
This movie's just dumb, rushed, stupid, and silly.
Yeah.
There are people theorizing that this is just Mel Gibson trying to prove to production studios that he can be insured again. Like, this is like just a, hey guys, like don't have to worry about me. Give me something else to chew on. But this, I'll give you this. I won't cause a scene. Get this out. It'll make money.
Well, he did that, and then he goes on like Joe Rogan and says like all his friends got cured from cancer by eating.
And why not just put effort? If you have to do it, why not just like if you have to go to work, you might as well do the work. Mm-hmm. So like, why didn't you put effort in that?
That's a good question.
It feels like he just was not involved in anything beyond shooting the movie. You know what I mean? Like, they shot parts and it felt like maybe like, okay, we could probably fix this up in post, and then he's like, okay, well, that's your guys' problem. I'm out of here.
So HBO is the premiere. What's the tier below that for cable? Cinemax, you think?
No, FX.
Okay,
Yeah, I
what's the
would
tier
say
below
FX.
Like Stars?
Yeah.
This feels
Showtime.
I've seen like Stars movies.
Yeah.
That are better quality. Than
Oh
this.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh yeah. And for my review, this is a very bad movie. I was engaged the whole time.
Me too.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Me too.
Did not move out of my seat. Never went to the bathroom.
No.
Like, I had fun with it. Like, if this was on TNT, like Kenjac said, I would stop and flip in the channels and I would watch it for a little bit, especially if Mark Wahlberg was awake.
Yeah.
Crazy choice. Because, like, you know that Mark Wahlberg is the best part of this movie going in. Like,
Yeah.
everyone in the building
He's
had
the
to know,
star.
like, he's the star. This is an interesting kind of thing for him to do. Why is he incapacitated for 2/3 of this movie?
And every time he's talking and on screen, he's so fucking captivating.
Yes.
He's so good.
He's so committed to the, like, I don't know.
He's so committed. Like the movie levels up so many levels like when he's on screen. It is a giant leap.
Yeah.
And then every time he's off screen, it's like
It's like now they're talking on the phone trying to solve an international
lot of phone
conspiracy
conversations.
over the phone.
Yes.
It's like that shit can all go away. Get rid of all the phones in this movie,
lot
and
of
it's just
phones.
them and them trying to work this out in the plane. This movie's 20 times better.
At points, it did feel like an instructional video on how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like listening to the guy Hassan on the other side of the phone line, like walk us through on.
But then
how
he
to-
also wanted to go on a date with her.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
also was like hitting on this
It was
girl.
wild.
Like, dude, just fucking crazy. Like again, like we mentioned, like not a good movie functionally at all. But like, and again, a lot of post-production issues. Also, like the one thing that really bugged me out was when they were initially doing the dive, right? Like it was doing like the Monty Python. The guy keeps running and keep resetting the shot. Like the ground was this far away, and you cut back to them, and they do something, and you look back down, and this ground is still this far away, and they pull up, and they have plenty of room to spare.
It was like a 10-minute dive into the
dude,
ground.
it was crazy. There's so many moments like that. But yeah, anyway, it's parts of it are still fun. Mark Wahlberg.
You guys would agree though. You cannot recommend this
No.
movie, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't
to the
think I
right
can
to the
recommend
right person.
No, to a general audience.
it. To general,
Like
definitely.
if you're
not.
Cisco and that's how I always look at it. I have to give this movie a thumbs down.
Yeah,
I have to.
would
I
agree.
can't recommend this movie.
To me, it's like a 60 something.
If someone came to me and they said, "Listen, this weekend I can either see Wolfman or I can see Flight Risk,"
That's a different argument.
Yeah,
it's Dumpuary.
No, it's not. That's not fair because the next movie we're going to talk about is significantly
it's
better.
very
But
good.
this next movie we're going to talk about is not playing in like a lot of states.
Well, that's a fucking shame.
It is a shame, but
You
what
made me
the
mad.
general public has access to is like Flight Risk or Wolfman right now.
No, there's more out there than that.
There's
no,
Valiant
there's-
One's
there-
coming in,
there-
baby.
Valiant One.
Valiant One is
And it's a solid movie.
Valiant One, by the way, is playing nowhere. After next week, it's playing like literally like in your house.
Damn.
No, there's more options out than that. Oh, One of Them Days is better than either of those movies.
One of them days.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, no, that's not fair. Wolfman always horrible.
Yeah, bad. We talked about that.
Wolfman's
bad
the
movie.
worst.
I actually did these two movies as a double feature.
Wolfman and Flight Risk.
Flight Risk and Presence.
Oh, Fire and Presence.
Oh, really?
What a back to
Yeah,
back.
it was. Well, I was incredibly high going into Presence after because I was like, I'm gonna have to really need some movie enhancers to get through this Flight Risk movie. And
So you can't recommend Flight Risk. You can't. You know you can't.
To a very like to a Mark Wahlberg
to a guy who
superstar.
wears like no bull tennis shoes and Under Armour like workout gear like into the office.
Tap
yeah,
out, yeah.
No, I'm saying general audience.
Okay, so that's a good segue. We'll just talk about Presence. Presence, a family becomes convinced that they are not alone after moving into their new home in the suburbs. Directed by Soderbergh, it was Lucy Liu, Chris Sullivan, Kalina Leong, Eddie Midday. This is a movie about ghost tale. Takes place from the point of view of a ghost. Very, very interesting concept that I remember when they first like announced it and showed like quick little bits of the trailer, like, oh, very interesting, but with Soderbergh stuff, because Soderbergh is a big, like, this dude swings for power. He's like, either it's going to work or it is the biggest whiff you've ever seen
Adam
in your
Dunn.
life. Yeah, he's the movie he made, and I think we mentioned this recently, the Let Them All Talk, or the one where it was like all it was all improv by Meryl Streep and Lucas Hedges. Like, it was an HBO movie that came out over COVID.
was this not? Oh yeah, no, that was. I was thinking the Laundromat.
No.
which he also did.
Yes.
with Streep.
Yeah, but it was god awful. Again, swing for the fences. Either it works or it doesn't. In this case, I was like, man, it could really not work though, and it did. It worked really well. This is a damn good, like, experimental, interesting movie that I enjoyed a ton. The whole camera work, the angle of it was really. He shot it on like basically like one of the cameras we have here.
Yeah, like the camera like Liam uses.
Yeah, like a regular, like average, like nothing fancy, nothing exceptional, like just a regular camera. I thought it looked amazing. I thought just being stuck in this house, feeling like the claustrophobia of like the ghost and the family was really cool. I thought the acting, specifically from the daughter, was really good.
I thought Chris Sullivan was good.
Chris Sullivan was really
Dad of
good.
the year. Good lord.
And the brother, I thought, was not particularly good.
No, I can't argue that.
And Lucy Liu was fine.
There are very long takes in this movie, so sometimes the takes go as long as 10 minutes.
Yeah, really long.
So that can kind of expose bad actors a little bit. I think everyone did a fine enough job, or a good job. I think the brother, you're right, he's definitely the weakest of the four. But I don't know, the long takes also makes you feel more lived in, makes you care more about the family. I was all in on this movie. This is the best. So I've seen 11 movies so far that have come out in 2025. This is by far the best of the 11. I cannot recommend Perez, especially if you like a ghost story, like a good ghost story, like a good horror. Like I see, horror is maybe the right word. Like a good ghost story, like a good.
It's like a family.
Like
it's
a
really just like a family
drama. It's more family drama than horror. So but I think if you appreciate the genre at all, go see this.
Yeah, it's like I would say it's like an 85 for me. I really enjoyed it.
That's about where I fall into.
I'd be like around a 75. This is interesting. Like, this is a movie that really anyone could make. Like, a film student could make this movie. But Soderbergh is at such a high level where when he makes it, it is, like you said, it's the best movie so far this year that I've seen. Fantastic. Like, you really do feel empathetic towards the ghosts that you're, like, embodying throughout the movie. Like, you can feel the emotions despite not being any dialogue. Really not a ton of, like, fancy camera work. It's
simply what they're watching.
It's so simple. Everything is very simple. The script is incredible. Who did it? It's
David Kopp. Same guy
David
did Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Jurassic Park.
Incredible writer. Nice tight
script.
script.
Made me angry at that fucking trailer.
Yeah.
I could see the end being divisive for people. It worked for me. It's a little corny, but it works for me. And yeah, no, I enjoyed it a ton. It went a completely different direction than what I was expecting.
Yeah,
I was expecting a very supernatural horror, and it's more just, like we said, a very tight family drama told in a way that we've never seen before. It's intimate and, emotional. And
family drama with like a tint of like thriller, I guess.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
And super short runtime. I think it's like 90 minutes or maybe even less than that, 88 or something like that. It packs a punch. I really, out of every movie come out this year, I think we're all in agreement. This is the best movie, I would say, by
for
far,
this year,
of everything that's come out in 2025.
Yeah, a pretty sizable gap between the next one, I would say, if I'm like trying to like think through it in my head so far.
Yeah. I had The Damned is my number 2, and I have One of Them Days my number 3.
The Valiant one didn't make
Valiant one's 4.
Valiant one's 4.
Those are the only 4 movies I can recommend this year.
Yeah, but always really like Presence, a really solid movie.
Presence is like the other ones are. One of Them Days is they're fine. This is a thumb. Like this is a.
This is like I recommend
this to everybody too, because like you said, it's even if you like are not a fan of scary movies, go see this. It's not.
Yes,
it's,
exactly.
Like I said, it's much more family drama.
It's a great point. Like it's a scary movie you could take like somebody who doesn't like scary movies to. You know what I mean? Like,
so this movie, because of this was so good, I'm like, I gotta go. I'd never seen Erin Brockovich, so I saw it a couple of days ago.
This guy's got range, man.
Man, it's fucking good. Erin Brockovich is a good. It holds up really well. It's on Netflix right now, so if you're looking for something to watch tonight and you're at home, or I know we got some snow coming, that's definitely worth the watch. Like I said, I give that a strong recommendation as well. 3.5 stars from me.
Yeah.
Erin Brockovich really good. Presence really good. Obviously, Ocean's 11. You go through his filmography, and
it's like banger, oof, banger, oof.
Yeah,
it's like.
But I almost prefer that than the guy that did like Ron Howard.
Yeah.
So I'm a big Soderbergh guy, and the last between that and Erin Brockovich, I'm even bigger.
Did you see Logan Lucky?
I have not, and it's on my list.
Watch it.
I got it. Isn't that his last theatrically? I think that's his last theatrically.
Yeah,
because he got screwed by the Mac shit.
Yeah,
I'm on this Best Picture nominee kick right now.
And he's got this, and then he's got another movie hitting theaters in like a month or two.
Yeah, he has
Black Bag with
Kate Blanchett
Fassbender.
and Fassbender. That looks like
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, like a boring Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
But like we said, Soderbergh is so talented.
I know.
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
He's such a unique. He also edits all of his movies, which I think is just
under a
awesome.
pseudonym, which is very funny.
Yes. Yeah. Have you ever seen his? Everyone always talks about this, and I have the files somewhere like bookmarked in my tweets. His Raiders of the Lost Ark edit.
Oh no, I've never actually seen it, but yeah,
he does like re-edits of a lot of movies that he just loves, and he has a black and white re-edit of Raiders with a different movie score. Laid over top. I can't remember what it is, but people swear by it and say it's just incredible.
So Soderbergh, before this, Magic Mike Last Dance, which was Mac's release, Kimmy, which was interesting. Like as far as all the movies that came out during COVID that were like COVID was a character of it. All of them were bad. I would say Kimmy was like the best one of them. No Sudden Move with our big boy Fraser, pretty solid. Let Them All Talk, which again, dog shit.
I still have Soderbergh. I haven't seen a good chunk. I got to see more of his movies.
The Laundromat, not really good. High Flying Bird, which I don't really remember. Unsane, which was interesting. Very similar to this, where it's like, let's do something cool with the camera.
I haven't seen that one.
All shot in an iPhone. I think it was not Clairefoy. It was
that was the iPhone movie. Because there just was an iPhone movie that came out, Hereditary, which is lousy. You don't see that. With the girl from Bridgerton.
Wait, sure, it's Hereditary?
I'm sorry. I keep doing that. It's Inheritance.
Okay, I was like, Hereditary.
So
definitely see that movie.
They already stole the title for another.
No, don't see Inheritance. It's horrible. Yeah. I shouldn't say horrible. It's just bad. It's bland.
Oh, The Informant. I didn't love that.
Informant I didn't like.
Yeah, Contagion was like interesting.
Contagion was very good.
Yeah.
I kind of like Contagion.
And how prescient was it?
Haywire. Yeah. Girlfriend experience. I don't really remember a ton of
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a very... Whoa!
But there's like a half dozen movies in there that are like legitimately very good.
Yeah, and he swings, and man, when he connects, man. Again, you should see Logan Lucky.
No, it's on my list. I said I'm trying to see every Best Picture nominee ever. So I've been on this little kick. I watched Driving Miss Daisy on the plane ride home last night. Not that good.
We some of the other movies that I've just been like out that we've seen, I don't think we would do a full review of. Again, Valiant 1, I saw today. You saw a couple of days ago.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be dog shit. You look at it, it's like, here's the kid from John B. from Outer Banks and Lana Condor starring in a military movie. You're like, oh boy.
That was so cheap. They had to shoot it in Canada as opposed. It's supposed to take place in North and South Korea.
Yeah.
It does not look like. But having said that, performance. If you like a military movie, this is definitely worth the watch. Super short runtime, and it never loses its steam. I think it.
Yep. It's kind of like
it's pretty exciting at times.
It's kind of similar to what was the Navy SEALs movie with Wahlberg about the guys that got caught in
fuck. Oh God.
I can name like every fucking guy in that movie.
Brothers? No.
No. It's the one. It's real life story. Fuck with Reznor and Ross. Damn it! What are explosions in the sky? Peter Berg.
God, Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor.
Yes. Yeah. There it is.
It's kind of like structurally.
Lone Survivor, I think, is a slightly better movie.
Definitely a better movie, no question. But it's like structurally
not that much better though. And considering what this movie had for a budget,
and
like this movie could not. The ceiling was very low for this movie. It hit the ceiling though.
Yeah,
like you got to give that,
for sure. You're Cordially Invited was a prime comedy rom-com with Will Ferrell, Reese Witherspoon. A couple other actors here and there, like random, but you'd look at them and you're like, oh, that's that comedic actor that I haven't seen since SNL type of actors. There are parts of it where it's like funny and like you kind of, I feel like I haven't seen a Will Ferrell movie in a while that's reminded me of how funny he was at his peak of his powers. And this is like, there's moments in this where like, oh wow, yeah, that reminds me of that. Generally not great though, I would say. And not a movie I would recommend to anyone unless like you're looking for a streaming with girlfriend type movie.
Have you seen Companion yet?
I've not seen. I want to save that for a review. That's for next week.
That's
okay.
Next week. All right.
Yeah, I want to
save. Pretty solid. I see your complaints completely. I think we talked about it at the bar the other night.
Yeah.
The twist that's marketed in the trailer, which it's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
It's on the poster.
It's good. It's a great point. It's on the poster.
They like play it like a twist in the movie about like 40 minutes in, which is kind of annoying that they did that. And I shouldn't
say like a disconnect between
the
market.
The market, yeah. But I don't know how you market this movie without that, though.
That's true. And then I saw The Monkey Wednesday night, which is coming out in like a week. Very good. Osgood Perkins follow-up to Long Legs. Completely different tone, very Final Destination. If you like Final Destination, you'll love this. It's like very Looney Tunes style deaths. And Theo James is doing his best like Dave Franco or James Franco impression.
They're not that dissimilar.
No, they're not. It's a good take.
Fun movie. Very fun. I wouldn't say as good as Long Legs, which I was higher on than I think most people, but
that was just an overhype issue.
It's good. He's got the sauce for sure.
Theo for sure. Oh yeah.
I'm talking about Osgood Perkins. I think he's got the sauce.
I was gonna say Theo. He was obviously great in White Lotus, but he was really good in the Gentleman series.
Yeah,
really, really good in that.
I'm going to see this weekend Hard Eyes and Love Hurts. I'm not really excited about seeing either of these movies.
Wait, Dogman. Almost forgot about Dogman.
Oh, Dogman! I'm going to write a review of that in the blog. Dogman is better than than I expected.
And we told you, we all said Dogman is going to be.
I got to say, Dogman's not bad. I really like the animation style. It's drawn kind of like the style of like that Captain Underpants of Dogman, like how like a kid drew it. But the animation is very crisp and clean, and it gives a good look. The humor, probably way too many jokes. It only lands like 20% of them, but that's enough. you really care about Dogman. Dogman, by the way, is just it's dog. It's like there's no man. It's dog. He's dog. He's diffused dog and man. He's dog.
Clemmer's hung up on the
man aspect.
The man aspect is that's not. He's dog.
It's a misnomer.
But he's a very good dog, and it tackles the especially the subject of loneliness in a really interesting way. It's really powerful, and I think speaks to kids and adults, and it's a great one to tackle because loneliness affects everyone. Everyone feels lonely, and they do a really good job with it. And because of that, I felt more emotion with Dogman than I have in more than half the movies I've seen this year.
Oh,
I'm not going to recommend Dogman to a general audience because it's also still like Dogman. But if you have, I said it in my review, I think if you have kids this weekend and you're looking for something to do, you could do a lot worse than Dogman. So there you go.
So Dogman, and I saw the first 3 or 4 episodes of Invincible. Season 3 came out. Good so far.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's a decent. There is like one big component that is missing from it so far that I'm hoping we see soon, and I don't want to say any more than that because I might spoil it. But other than that, solid. So yeah, now we're gonna do our draft. We are drafting essentially Best Picture years. So if you pick a year, you get all the movies that were nominated for Best Picture that year. In the case of post expansion from 5 movies to 8 movies, you have to pick 5. Yeah, so you have to pick 5 movies out of that grouping of whatever it is. So you get 5 movies total. I'd randomized the draft order. I feel like I've gotten last every single time recently. Now I have it's me, then Klemmer, then Gooch.
Okay.
And I actually hate the fact that I go first.
I was gonna say I kind of like this.
I wouldn't want to go first.
Yeah, it's very. First of all, I don't think there's a very obvious number one. Like there's a lot of years on here. I'm like, wow. But then like the middle of this is so much juicier to me than the top.
Would you have been? Were you all shocked by? I guess maybe not you so much, Klemmer, since you've been going through these so religiously, but the Best Picture nominees almost ubiquitously, like, they do not get the best movies from the year, like, ever. Mm-hmm. Like, there's very few cases where they really do nail it.
Yeah, I think that's tough. I always say the nominations across the board usually land it closer. I feel like winners are almost always wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the nominees, more often than not, they get a good chunk of them.
Yeah, I would say they're like 60%.
Which I think is not bad. There's a lot of movies that come out a year. So to nail it, especially in the years when it was just 5, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
God, man, even just looking at this now, like, I have no fucking clue what to pick. It's so hard.
You know what I learned doing this too, or looking at these? The 80s were a terrible
dead spot.
Oh,
dead
Jesus.
spot. It was unbelievable. I skipped the entire decade.
The blockbusters were so good.
Yeah.
So think about who's running the 80s. Spielberg. Oliver Stone had some good hits in there for sure, but like it was a lot of like blockbusters. Mm-hmm. And as a kid growing up, I had such a fondness for 80s movies. But if you look at the Best Picture nominees,
dude,
it's
they're bad.
Rough.
It's really tough. So like for my pick, it's very difficult for me to narrow it down. It's so hard to pick one. I think I will do where like I like all 5 of these movies for sure, but they're not the best, man. I don't know. I'll go with it. I'll do 2015. I think 2015 is a very strong year. I think 2015 has, for the 5 I'm picking, Spotlight, fantastic movie. Mad Max Fury Road, which I think you're not very high on.
No,
right?
It's okay.
I love Mad Max Fury Road. The Big Short, I love The Big Short. The Martian, I really like The Martian. Rewatched that the other day. And Room, which is also a fantastic movie.
Room might be my favorite on that list.
Yeah, so I'll do 2015, and I'll take those 5 movies specifically, and I think those are all good. I don't know, but like then I'm gonna look at the rest of these throughout this. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I pick that?
Yeah, there's some where it's like the two at the top are just incredible, and then it falls off a cliff.
Cliff after that, man.
I'll say 2015, not even in my top 9.
Not even your top 9.
No.
See, it's all I think going to be a little bit more personal taste. And there was one year which I wanted to take from you just to take from you, and I didn't want to do it.
Was it 94?
Don't say anything. Clemmer, you're up.
Yeah, it's 94.
I knew it.
I mean, this is the year that changed my life as far as movies, and it was the year when I really. I mean, I was interested in the Oscars really from the Silence of the Lambs year, moving forward, because I was about 10, 11, but when this came, 94. I'm 15 when it just really hit a lot for me.
Yeah, especially the Best Picture winner. That was your favorite, right?
No. So I am stuck with Forrest Gump. But the other, you get, which Forrest Gump is fine. Look, Forrest Gump, I'll say, is better than Drive Miss Daisy. It's better than Emilia Perez. We're talking about that. But I talked about earlier how like the nominees mostly get it right, but the winners are almost always wrong. Great case here, because the nominees include Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, a very good movie called Quiz Show.
Great
seen
movie.
That? Robert Redford directed it. Stylistically, it's beautiful. Four Weddings and a Funeral is about as good as you're going to get from a rom-com. And then Forrest Gump is fine, but I'm getting Shawshank and
Pulp was good enough, yeah.
and Pulp
Quiz Show.
Fiction.
Those three are
and Quiz Show's
amazing.
very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and plus it just means a lot to me personally. So
Yeah, I mean, again, that it's all about. I feel like in some of these, it's limiting losses versus like getting a movie you really love, which is tough. Like you want the average weight of the movie to be higher, which is tough in some of
I
these.
can't. Shawshank and Shawshank and
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction are in my top 10 all time.
Yeah.
I get both in the same year. I can't not take that.
Yeah. So 94, Gooch, you get back to back.
Going back in time before Klemmer can get it, I'm going to go with 1975.
Yeah, great
You
year.
cocksucker.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, one of the best ensembles of all time. Then Barry Lyndon, obviously just gorgeous Kubrick movie, would win most years. Dog Day Afternoon, one of the best
Great
Pacino
movie.
performances of all time, probably the best.
The best.
Jaws speaks for itself, and then Robert Altman's Nashville.
Nashville's amazing.
Just top to bottom, five
Fantastic
bangers.
year.
Great year. Maybe not going to win me this draft, but
Oh, that's great. Those are
I mean,
five great movies.
I'm talking about our the
clearly on
Instagram
my-
audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. You know, it's funny too. You put it on Twitter. I think our audience, whoever watches the show, completely gets it.
Yeah.
On Twitter, it's much more of a general thing.
Yeah. But you get your back to back, and that's five great movies.
75, and then I will jump to. See, this is where I want to go more recent. I will go probably the most talked about year of my lifetime would be 07, which is No Country for Old Men, Atonement. Juno is kind of
Juno's a weird one, yeah.
it's a weird one, but it made sense at the time.
I think it's a good movie.
Very big moment. Then Michael Clayton, one of the best
good
scripts
movie.
of all time, and then There Will Be Blood, which another one that could win most years, but just ran into No Country for Old Men.
I know
You're getting 3 of the best movies that decade in the same year.
Yeah.
That's a fucking fantastic. That would have been my next probably if I had gotten back to
That was high on. Both movies took around my top 9, and 2007 was I had 4th.
Yeah, fuck, that's a good one. All right, Klemmer, you're up.
Oh, good.
They're tough. It gets
This
really hard
gets
here.
tough. Yeah, and you're right. Am I factoring in? I think I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take 2010.
Damn it! I don't know why I thought that might fall back to me.
I know. I know it could have.
That's what I was deciding between.
If I'm getting 5, Inception. The Fighter.
Okay. Have that on
You probably take the 5 I listed on
The
mine.
Social Network, by the way,
Okay.
is the most important film I believe of the century.
True Grit.
No.
No.
Really? Okay.
127 Hours
Oh.
and Black Swan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had the same 4, except I swapped out True Grit for 127.
I would have True Grit, honestly. I had King's Speech, True Grit, and Winter's Bone to me the same.
Really?
I have the same tier.
King's Speech won that. Yeah.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is kind of a shame because this.
Yeah.
No, but-
Biopic.
Like once again, the winners are rarely right. But I'm really happy with those 5. Especially getting Social Network, getting Inception the same year to me is huge. And then Fighter is a fantastic movie. 127 Hours. I get it. Franco's like been,
You think that's
canceled.
better than True Grit though?
I don't like True Grit that much. Coen Brothers hit or miss to me. It's also the fact that it's a remake that loses a couple points in my.
All
It's fine. It doesn't do anything wrong, but to me, it also doesn't do a lot that like.
Wows you, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's
It's
fair.
a very competent film, and and I'm a big Matt Damon guy. I can't. It's hard for me to find a true flaw in it, but it also didn't excel for me.
The MVP's wife. Great performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best.
And
one of the best child
also, too,
performances
the
ever.
5 that I mentioned are movies that I genuinely love.
Yeah. All right. I have back to back now. Man, it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard after this. I'll do first 1976. 1976 is a fantastic year. It's Rocky, one of the coolest just movie things in general, because that's like an indie movie that fucking blasted in and took the best picture, written by Stallone. Just a fantastic.
Hot take. Not even a hot take. Probably shouldn't have won, but I'm happy it did.
Me too.
I go against that. It is not a hot take. It's a hot take me saying that Rocky should have won
Okay.
because of what else Kenjac's going to
All the President's Men
Yeah.
was fantastic. Network would be my next on the list.
That's
Network.
what I think should have won.
I think that or All the President's. Those two, and Taxi
I
Driver.
was going
could've
to say,
won.
you can make a case for Taxi Driver.
You could pick
Yeah.
a text, and then Bound for Glory would be the 5th place ranking for me out of this
Yes.
grouping. But like those 4 are all 4 classic movies.
A
So
lot of people before 94 felt that 76 was the greatest set of nominees ever. And honestly, even after 94. But 76, when I was growing up as a kid, that was a year a lot of people pointed to. It's that, that's 75 year.
yeah. So 76 is off the board now. Man, there's a lot of good ones. I think I'll go with 2019. I like 2019's years movies a lot, man. Parasite is one of my favorite movies ever. Fantastic, beautiful,
I'm
gorgeous.
interested on the 5 you pick
Me
here.
too.
So Parasite, I would do Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, had that.
Just an obvious, you need that one. That's fantastic. I
Without
rewatched
question.
that movie again recently too. So fucking
So
good, man. I think next I would pick Ford v Ferrari on that list.
Okay.
Ooh,
I like Ford v Ferrari a lot. I think it's
I do too.
I think it's a really good movie. I think that's one where you talk about movies that you'll and I don't know if this is like more of like an elite movie or something. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But like if you see it playing, you stop and watch the whole thing. Like if I'm scrolling TikTok or whatever, and like I come across a clip of like from Ford v Ferrari, I stop and watch every other clip from the movie, and like I just need to watch the rest of it. I think next I'll do 1917, which I thought was amazing. Like even just from a technical achievement, just beautiful.
Greatest war movie ever in my opinion.
So good. Roger Deakins was just an absolute fucking wizard. Sam Mendes when he like top of his game level stuff, and all the actors.
Yeah, it's
really
like
good.
British. It's like the British Avengers.
Literally, dude. Every single great British actor is in this movie for like 5 minutes and just like nailed their part.
They all hit it. It's so good.
Such a good movie. And then lastly, I think I would do Jojo Rabbit would be my last one. Jojo Rabbit, I mean, whatever the type of stuff now, Jojo Rabbit's a good movie, and it is fucking devastating when and the moments where it gets sad.
Rabbit's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
This is the deepest year.
It is.
Yes.
I'm going to say movie history.
It's
I don't know. Find me any year that has 10 movies this good. Every single movie on this list
go through the rest
is
of them.
a very good movie.
Go through the rest of them.
You got Marriage Story.
Yep.
Which
Marriage
I think
Story's
is fantastic. Joker.
Yep.
Which I think is Joker 2 obviously sucks. The original Joker is a very good movie.
Yeah.
And what did you say? The Irishman?
I did not say The Irishman.
Yeah,
I know
I would have The
would
Irishman
be
in my top 5.
Little
which is
Women?
Crazy. And Little Women.
Yeah.
Which is a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all like if you're gonna grade them like B or B plus or better.
Yeah, and it's not the case with some of the years we'll even be getting to now. I'm sure.
It's even hard to find that many good movies when you have only 5 nominees. The fact that you had 10 that good, I really think 2019 is sucked on. Although not anymore. I even heard Tarantino say 19 was the last great movie year.
Yeah, I mean it really was.
I think people are gonna stare at 2019 as almost like a especially with COVID happening in 2020 as a cultural bridge, like it's the end of something. 2019, I cannot say it is one of, if not the greatest movie year ever.
Yeah, that was a great Oscars to cover too, because that was like tight. That was a tight race. So 2019 off the board. Klemmer, you're back up.
You guys have taken a lot of my favorites here. You really have. I'm gonna go with 1974.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 3 movies really. Although actually, Lenny's good too. Godfather Part 2.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Amazing all-timer.
Chinatown.
Yep.
Which is heartbreaking. If you haven't seen it, it's Polanski at his best. I know Polanski's a bad guy, but he sure could direct a movie back then. And you're getting Faye Dunaway. It's so good. Nicholson is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation, which is
good.
maybe one of the greatest performances by an actor ever. Gene Hackman in Conversation's awesome. It's the little movie. How about this year from Coppola, right? You got Godfather Part 2 and Conversation. He directed this in the middle of 1 and 2. You get Lenny, which is the Lenny Bruce with Dustin Hoffman. Directed by Bob Fosse, right?
Was
it?
Oh.
It's an interesting look at a stand-up. I definitely, if you're a fan of character studies, definitely check out Lenny. Also, if you're a fan of like stand-up comedy, it's kind of it's an interesting look at like what was allowed, what was explicit back then. And then you get Towering Inferno. Look, anytime you get O.J. Simpson's a firefighter trying to save Paul Newman,
you gotta get it.
That's good stuff. Towering Inferno is cheesy, goofy, fun, but those other movies are legitimately good or great.
Especially that's not top 3 or 3 classic movies, like all timers.
Yeah, and Lenny's really good.
Yeah, and then
Lenny's like a legitimately like classic movie in my opinion. But yeah.
So 1974 off the board, Gooch.
Oh, this is where it gets tough.
Yeah.
Getting to some years where I've seen 4 of them, maybe haven't seen the 5th one or 3 of them that I love.
Sure.
Haven't seen the 4th one, 5th one. I'm gonna go with one where I've seen them all, and I really like all of them. And that is 2017, which is Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, and Phantom Thread. 5 movies that I love to varying degrees. Dunkirk probably the bottom of that list. I know some people think it's Nolan's best. I wouldn't agree with that.
Oh, no.
Not even close.
No, not even close. Back that for me.
But just a great year and kind of gets lost in the middle. I don't think it has like the standout top of the line movie that I think every year we've drafted so far really has. But those 5 movies, I love them all, and I am happy with that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Phantom Thread's underrated. The winner that year, by the way, Shape of Water.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
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 But that's
It's
not
not a bad. It's not a bad movie.
It's not
a
bad
best
movie.
picture
It's not
winner.
even a bad winner per se. Like I said, there's not. But like,
Not comparatively.
It's not a good winner.
I would have probably gone Phantom Thread there as a winner.
Yeah.
I would have gone Get Out.
Get Out also very deserving.
Yeah.
I think that's the movie people are going to take from that year. Actually, though, looking back on it, people might take Lady Bird from that year.
Lady Bird was
keeps
good.
blowing up.
Yeah.
But I think Get Out is the movie that.
And that blew up Saoirse Ronan and Chalamet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was a movie that blew up 2 big careers.
Big year for Chalamet.
and
Only
you get
by her
Jordan
name.
Peele blowing up with Get Out. 17 was kind of a crux year for some big time filmmakers, right? You got Dunkirk for Nolan.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nolan's already a big deal, but
Was that his first? No, he got nominated for Best Picture before, right? Or was that his
for
first?
Inception, he got nominated.
Duh, for Inception, yeah.
How do you guys feel about Three Billboards? That came out that year.
I like 3 Billboards.
I do like
I
it.
don't.
I thought about putting in my 5, but held
It's
off.
not as good as those.
It's not as good as Martin McDonagh's other movies too, which hurts it.
Yeah.
Even adding in the later movies with like Banshees of Inisherin.
You know who told me that? You know which one of our coworkers told me that was their favorite movie?
Oh,
Megan Making Money.
was three
Three
billboards?
billboards?
Yeah.
Not
I
a
swear
movie I
to
would have
God.
expected.
I know. I was
What a
shocked.
bizarro
It's a strange
grouping of movies. So the favorite movies in our company are like Glenny with whatever, R.I.P. Glenny. The Glenny's is like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yes, right.
Marty's is like That's My Boy, and then Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Gooch, your second to last pick.
Ooh. Ooh. See, this is where I want to go a year where I haven't seen them all, but I do love the ones that I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I got to do it. I'm going to go. No, I can't do that one.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
I'm
after
going to
so
go.
years.
I'm going to go 79. Kramer vs. Kramer,
Yeah.
all that jazz, Apocalypse Now, top 3. Those are the 3 I've seen. I think those are 3 5-star movies. All that jazz, a movie that Klemmer turned me on to last year.
Good movie. You could hear me on to that
It's
as
my
well.
favorite music of all time. It's in my top 20 all time. It's
fascinating.
Saw
I
it
think
in
it's
theaters.
Incredible. The last 20 minutes of it are the most incredibly performance.
I don't know how they made that in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how they put that together.
If you've never seen it, and you'll probably be like, Fosse, like a musical, like stage production that doesn't sound up my alley. It is absolutely up like any like guy listening to this, like very much up your alley. Like,
It's a womanizing guy running a fucking.
Yes.
It's also not like they don't break out in song for no reason.
No.
Like every song has a purpose. It's not like goofy or weird like that.
No, that's
It's
serious.
also incredibly cynical and dark.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow that up with. Wait, was that?
No, that's just your second to last.
Okay.
Now, Clemmer,
So you also got Breaking Away and Norma Ray, by the way.
Yes.
Those are 2 movies I haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean the top 3 alone is worth the pick. I mean Apocalypse Now.
I wanted that top 3.
Apocalypse Now is incredible. Kramer's incredible. But yeah, I mean that's a good top 3. Clemmer, your second to last pick. It's tough.
It's tough. All right, I'm gonna go with 99. 99 was a great movie year. It did a little disservice with I think the nominees. Like for instance, like Office Space never got nominated. I think Office Space is maybe the
So
greatest comedy ever
good.
made. There's other 99 movies that didn't, like Election's a good movie that didn't get nominated. But the ones that did, Sixth Sense, I think is one of the greatest horror movies ever. Green Mile, I think is really good.
Yep.
The Insider, I think
Really good, underrated for sure.
Insider, it might be Michael Mann's best movie.
I say underrated. It's the best picture now, but still, like I feel like
but
people
it is.
haven't seen it.
Yeah,
you know?
right. If
Like,
you haven't seen, it's Russell Crowe, Al Pacino, Philip Morris. It might sound kind of boring, Philip Morris. It's worth the watch. Side House Rules is a good movie.
Yeah.
The winner, and I think this movie has aged terribly, is American Beauty, and not even for the spacey stuff. I just think like if you watch it now, it just feels like a relic.
Yeah.
It's creaky. It's by far the worst movie of this list. Of course, it won.
Still beautiful to look at though. That's the Mendes effect.
That's the Mendes effect, especially when he had what's his face, the guy.
Deacons.
No, before Deacons.
Deacons didn't shoot that one.
No, it was the guy that did Road to Perdition. Conrad L. Hall, who Road to Perdition is the most beautiful movie I think ever made, and this movie once again looks amazing. So I'll take 99. I'll be all right with that.
Dude, that beach house scene in Road to Perdition.
Oh my god, on the whole movie. But yes, you're not wrong about that.
Okay, so now my last 2 picks. I think I will do. Oh man, there's a lot of good ones here. I think there's one I want to get. I'll take 19. There's two 60s years I really want to take, and wish I could combine them and take the combination of them really badly. Fuck, I'll take 62. I think 62 has a couple of really good ones in there. Lawrence of Arabia is I think still like a fascinating movie to watch. It's long, sure.
Yeah. It's like one of the movies.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's dreadfully boring.
It's a slog. I won't ever complain about that.
It's so gorgeous to look at, though. But
Peter O'Toole is amazing in it. All the supporting cast around them, like even like Alec Guinness playing a fucking like sheik is bizarro, but it works.
Omar Sharif.
Yeah, Omar Sharif,
so good.
Really good in it. It's just like a beautiful, gorgeous, like and like you're saying, like one of the movies. The Longest Day is like just one of the war movies too. Like not one that I think people really think about as much anymore because of like stuff like Saving Private Ryan having come out. Mutiny on the Bounty, another one of like those like when you grow. At least when I was growing up, that was a movie. It's like, oh, you gotta watch Mutiny on the Bounty. Yep. Like my mom would always talk about that. My dad would talk about that. The same thing with To Kill a Mockingbird. That's a movie like you watch in school. And then The Music Man is 5 for me out of this, but still, I mean that top 4 I think are all really good, like mostly classic movies. So I'm fine with that. And then my last one, I'll take fucking damn it. There's 2 years now I really want. I think I'll do 22 because I don't love all of them, but the 5 that I will take I think I like a lot. Everything Everywhere All at Once I loved. I was on top of that second that came out. I really like that movie. Top Gun Maverick I think is one of the best action movies of the last decade, if not the best. Banshees of Inisherin, I love Banshees of Inisherin. 2 totally different movies blended into one. Then after that, it gets a little bit shakier. Like All Quiet on the Western Front, I would throw in as my next pick. I like that movie. There's parts of it where I don't. I think it gets like a little bit lost when you look at another, like especially having come out after 1917, which is such like an incredibly beautiful practical war movie. And then like
same war too doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't help it. And then Triangle of Sadness, I do think is a very good movie. So
what is
Triangle of Sadness? It was a very good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Like it's not as polished as some of these other ones, but Everything Everywhere All at Once I love.
Like none of those movies are gonna be what, like I think 15 years from now we're not talking about any of those movies.
About like Top Gun Maverick?
I don't know. Is that something that like is gonna be like a classic movie? Maybe, I don't know.
I think people
it's also
love
like kind of redundant. Oh no, I liked it a lot. I don't mean like that, but I mean it's like I don't know. I don't feel like there's like a classic movie from that year.
I would say
maybe it's because it's recency bias and we're so close to it, almost like the anti-recency bias.
Sure. I think that Top Gun Maverick will not like. It's not going to be. I don't think considered like a holy shit. That's one of the film classics. Like because like, Top Gun's considered that. And it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
completely agree.
So that's where it's like a weird sort of like conversation to have about that. But then Banshees of Inisherin I think is a fantastic movie. I think that's when people will look at it and be like, wow, Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson were incredible in that.
I just didn't like it that much. It was fine. It just didn't hit me. But maybe you're right.
I liked it.
That was my winner.
I liked it.
You guys liked it a lot, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
All right.
So I'll go.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't hit for me.
So I'll do 2018. It was a very close race though, looking at that in one other year, which I'm curious if it gets taken. Your last pick, Klemmer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go really old school.
Okay.
1939.
Okay, I was looking at that one too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to. You get Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
Gone with the Wind.
Yep.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yeah.
So those 3 are all just the classics of the classics. And then you get a couple other movies that are like interesting too, which I saw when I was a kid. So Of Mice and Men.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with Burgess Meredith in it, which is
not
like
Gary Sinise.
Not Gary Sinise and John Malkovich, which is actually very good.
That's pretty. That's not people. I feel like acted like that was a dumpy like almost like. I feel like they didn't treat that fairly.
And then we're getting John Ford and John Wayne, Stagecoach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, look, it's not even my favorite of Mice and Men version. So I'm not gonna like. But if I'm getting Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, that's a pretty solid year. And then like I said, mix in Stagecoach with that. And also just for film classics, everyone kind of points to 1939 as the first great movie year. It's like, all right, I think we got to show it some respect.
Yeah. So 39 off the board, Gooch.
I'm glad, Klemmer, you made that call for me because I was stuck between 2 years back to back, 1939 and then 1940, which is what I'm going with, which is Rebecca, Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca, The Grapes of Wrath, The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin's fantastic movie.
This is a strong year.
What I think is maybe the best rom-com of all time, Philadelphia Story, fantastic. And then I haven't seen anything else from that year, so I'm just throwing in All This in Heaven too. But those 4 right there, Rebecca, Grapes of Wrath, Great Dictator, Philadelphia Story, in terms of old Hollywood movies, it's hard to top that. They're fantastic.
The right movie won too.
Yeah.
Of those 4.
Rebecca?
Because those are the only 4 I've seen as well. Rebecca is so good.
Very good movie.
It's one of Hitchcock's best.
First Criterion I ever had.
So the only ones so I'll run through a list again. I have 2015, 1976, 2019, 1962 and 2022. Klemmer has 1994, 2010, 1974, 1999, and 1939. Gooch has 1975, 2007, 2017, 1979, and 1940. The one I was really splitting hairs and I'm surprised I didn't get taken was 97, because 97 you get Titanic, As Good as It Gets, Good Will Hunting, L.A. Confidential, 4 I think very good movies, and The Full Monty, which I think is very funny. A random one which I don't think is like, I don't know how that made it into the Oscars conversation, but very funny movie.
As Good as It Gets is not a very good movie. It's okay.
Okay, they're like solid then, but then like Titanic, Good Will Hunting, L.A. Confidential.
Confidential is good. I like it. I don't love it as much as other people. Good Will Hunting I think is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the second half of Titanic is phenomenal.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
But like honestly, if you rank the years of the '90s though, like I might even go. I mean, looking around at some of these. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is the second best year of the '90s.
It's just good. Those are good. There's some damn good movies. Especially again, that top 3 of Titanic, L.A. Confidential, and Good Will Hunting.
I like '91 quite a bit, which was Silence of the Lambs, Beauty and the Beast, JFK.
Top heavy. Like what was
yeah,
the next
then
one
it's
I remember
Bugsy and Prince of Tides.
Bugsy's a mess. Prince of Tides is too melodramatic for me.
But those top 3, Silence of the Lambs, JFK, and then Beauty and the Beast, which sounds crazy, but at the time,
revolutionary in a way. Yeah,
I mean,
2003. Did that tempt you? It tempted me.
Wasn't on my list. No.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Lost in Translation,
Master and Commander, right?
Master and Commander, which is a fantastic movie. You haven't seen?
I've not seen that yet.
Very good movie. Mystic River, which is solid. I think. Yeah. I mean, it's like a marquee scene of like the 2000s.
I think it's a solid nominee, right?
Yeah.
I give that movie a B. It's a solid movie.
Yeah, and Seabiscuit, which I never loved, but whatever.
It's okay.
2016 Arrival, Hell or High Water, La La Land,
infamous year.
Yeah, Manchester by the Sea, and then Moonlight, which won. But did it? We don't actually know. But I mean, that's 5 really solid movies.
I like 14 quite a bit too, which is Birdman, which is hoity-toity, but I like it. I see why the general public hates it. Grand Budapest Hotel, American Sniper, which people have begun to shit on. I don't think that's very fair to the movie. Whiplash and Selma.
No love for Boyhood?
I guess I like Selma quite a bit. Just the performance there. Boyhood, yeah.
65 too, also. Sound of Music and Dr. Zhivago back to back is like, that's very, very heavy duo. But then after that's like Darling, Ship of Fools, 1,000 Clowns, like I don't know. But the top 2 alone should be enough.
I'm trying to like make a case for some of the movies in the 80s. Like we talk about how the 80s
such a
dead zone.
Not a single 80s one got drafted, did it?
No, and honestly, I didn't have any 80s ones on my list at all.
So let's just go through the 80s nominees real quick, just for people that are like, well, it can't be that bad, can it? It is. It's
it really
really
is
bad. So 89 Driving Miss Daisy, which won. Like that would never. Like, can you imagine the uproar that would happen if that won today?
It's well, we saw it. It was Green Book.
Yeah, I guess
it's
so.
The same kind of
movie.
The same like schlocky, shitty movie.
Born on the 4th of July, which I like.
A very good movie.
Dead Poet Society,
Strong.
which is solid.
I think that was the year that I did consider.
Same.
Field of Dreams.
Because Field of Dreams to me is a top 10, 15 movie all time. I love Field of Dreams.
In My Left Foot, which is performance way outweighs the movie to me. Rain Man.
This is 88 now.
Yeah. The Accidental Tourist. Dangerous Liaisons. Mississippi Burning, which is good.
Which is fine. Rain Man's great, I think.
Yeah.
I think Rain Man's a great
which won, which is fair. Working Girl.
Doesn't hit for me.
87, The Last Emperor, which I think is a good movie to look at. Not one that would be like in the pantheon for me at all. Broadcast News.
Doesn't work for me, but I understand why it works for other people. It's just
I like it a lot, but that is a Best Picture nominee is kind of nuts.
Fatal Attraction.
Which is good.
Hope and Glory. And Moonstruck, which I like Moonstruck.
Moonstruck is like...
I love Moonstruck.
Is really good.
I'd say Moonstruck's the best out of that 5.
I would agree with you. But I would say by like substantial amount.
Yeah. And 86 Platoon, which is good.
It's fine.
Children of a Lesser God.
I've not seen that.
Hannah and Her Sisters. The Mission.
Which I've not seen.
A Room with a View.
Mission's fine.
It's
so boring. It's one of the most... It's beautiful score.
1985, Sidney Pollack's Out of Africa. Which won.
So now we're getting to the zone where I just haven't seen all these movies.
The Color Purple, which is kind of schlocky. Kiss of the Spider Woman. Prizzy's Honor.
That's Jack Nicholson movie.
And Witness, which I like Witness.
Yeah.
In 84, this is probably the strongest, one of the strongest winners of this whole group.
Strongest movie, I think, of this.
Yeah.
Amadeus is fantastic.
The Killing Fields, A Passage to India, Places in the Heart, and A Soldier's Story. Stop me if you've seen any of these. 1983.
I've not seen any of these.
Terms of Endearment, which
Okay.
Which doesn't work now. It feels very dated if you watch it now.
The Big Chill,
Which I think is so great. It's baby boomer schlock. It makes me just about as angry as Forrest Gump.
The Dresser, The Right Stuff,
Which is interesting about astronauts. Right Stuff I saw when I was a kid. It's an interesting movie.
and Tender Mercies, and then 82 Gandhi, which is a
This is one you could have picked. Honestly, no. 82.
Gandhi for
No,
the other ones.
No.
Okay.
The other ones.
Yeah, so E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which obviously
First movie I saw in the theaters.
Missing,
Tootsie I've not seen.
Tootsie
is
Okay.
very good, and then The Verdict.
The Verdict.
Which have you guys seen The Verdict?
I've seen The Verdict.
That's
Paul Newman. It's one of the greatest performances by an actor ever. It is that good. I've seen it like 3 times in the last like 6-7 years.
I remember watching it with my dad a long time ago.
Verdict is awesome. It
I've
holds
watched that.
up. It's very good. Watch The Verdict if you can. Especially if you like Paul Newman.
And then 81 Chariots of Fire, which won whatever. Atlantic City, On Golden Pond.
On Golden Pond is
And then Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is obviously
awesome.
great. Reds.
Reds is a slog. I saw it as a kid. It's a tough watch.
And then
it's about Bolsheviks and Russia. It's
fun
tough.
times.
It's like 3 hours long. It's tough. Crazy cast though. Nicholson's in it. Beatty. It's a crazy cast.
Let's see. Warren Beatty, Jack Nicholson, Jersey Kaczynski, Paul Sorvino. What the fuck?
It's a weird movie.
Diane Keaton. Nice.
Yep.
And then 1980, Ordinary People won.
Which is very good.
Yeah,
I like them a lot.
That's another one of like the best ones out of this decade for sure. At least of these nominees.
Oh, these nominees.
Coal Miner's Daughter.
Sissy says
boring
for that, right?
Kentucky Legend.
The Elephant Man, which is whatever. Every time I think of or hear about the elephant, you probably think of the same thing as you do, which is Bradley Cooper. Yeah, Bradley Cooper doing this on stage play, and then it's being like, "You want to wear like makeup, right?"
And he's like, "No, right?" He's like,
"No, I'll just stand for
apparently
it."
the traditional way it was performed, but
Shut up, dude. The Raging Bull, which is another one that I would say is like, as far as movie classics go, among the top.
Yeah, it's such a hard watch, man.
It is tough.
He's such a Giacomotto's such a bad guy. Like
Yeah.
it's beautifully shot by Scorsese, obviously, but it's just tough.
And then Tess after that.
I've not seen Tess.
But what makes it crazy too is like you go back just 1 year to '79, it's Kramer versus Kramer, all that
Yeah.
jazz.
the 70s
Apocalypse
are,
Now.
I think,
Well,
we'd agree is the strongest decade.
Out of
In
this
terms
group,
of
yeah.
nominees, I don't know if
Consistency,
it's
yeah.
like movie-wise. I
It
would
might
still
be.
make the argument probably movie-wise too. But in terms of nominees, I think
What
it's
happened?
undeniable.
Why did the shift happen? Well, we all know. Directors were in charge in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then 80s, they fucking
Studios.
Heaven's Gate ruined everything. Cimino lost a fortune, and the studios took back control. And the 80s are what happens when studios make movies instead of directors.
Who's that director for Heaven's Gate?
Michael Cimino.
Cimino, yeah. Because
Directed Deer Hunter.
Yeah, because he made Deer
And they
Hunter,
gave him a
which was
blank
great.
check to do another movie, and he fucking
He made that western that was
went out of
ass.
control with Chris Christopher. And but that's what happened. The studios, you could see exactly the moment when it happened was 1980. And then when studios make movies instead of directors, you get shit.
What did he? Because I remember he tried to come back with something else, which was also not great.
Cimino? Did he do?
There was an interesting thing about he may have had some like
he did.
sexuality questions as far as like also identity questions like
God, his wiki's so long. Holy
yeah, he's
shit.
interesting
Did he
interesting life for him.
So he did Heaven's Gate, and then
Yeah.
Year of the Dragon, The Sicilian, Desperate Hours, and The Sun Chaser. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, nothing ever
Yeah,
again or
nothing
for
really.
any note.
Yeah. No commercial. No,
I mean, he
or no
bankrupted an
HGV.
entire studio. He bankrupted the UA, like for that movie.
Which had been around forever.
Well,
Like,
kind of. It did get a resurgence, right? Yeah, you're right though.
wasn't it founded by like Chapman?
It trapped one of those guys,
Yeah.
but then it like dipped down, but then it got to rise up, but then he ruined it.
So anyway, that's the draft. I think for next week we're gonna do companions, which you two have seen. I haven't gotten to it yet. I will see that. I think we will do maybe the monkey as well.
That doesn't come out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
The ones we would see in theory would be the one I'm gonna go see right now. Hard Eyes,
Hard Eyes.
and then Love Hurts.
Love Hurts. I feel like that could be fun.
No, it could not. Be.
It could
It's
be.
gotten horrible. Love Hurts.
It could be fun.
The 82-minute runtime, which is bizarre.
I will say I do think the
That's
action's going to be
good.
good.
I know, I agree with you.
The action will be good
Wasn't
because it's
he-
from
no.
the guy who
Kiwi
did.
Kwan is like an
Yeah.
actual like martial artist, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
he did that after he stopped like acting. He became like a martial arts like trainer for
And it's the woman from West Side Story.
Who has like
Won
maybe the
Oscar.
worst post-Oscar career
What?
going.
Iron
of
and the
all time.
Bose. Oh no,
Dude,
poor
she's
woman.
yeah, dude. She her got her
Her
filmography
agent,
is
dude, her agent was like, "Oh, we can cast you in anything now, and you'll just get a ton of money. Just cast me in everything then."
It's
Yeah.
gotten really bad
Dude,
buzz.
she was in that. They CGI'd her mouth and fucking
Yes.
Kraven the Hunter.
Craven
like-
the Hunter.
So let's see.
Yeah, that's-
After she was in Hamilton, then West Side Story, and then after that ISS, which was ass. That was not a good movie. Wish, the animated movie she voiced. Once Upon a Time in a Studio. I never saw that. Argyle.
oh god, that's right.
bad,
She's
bad,
an
bad, bad,
Argyle.
bad.
That's tough. Didn't Argyle come out in February of last year?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, she's really a February queen, huh?
House of Spoils, which I did not see, cook or chef movie. Craven the Hunter, which was terrible. And now Love Hurts, and then she was also on Bad TV, wasn't she, or something? She was on. There's something missing here. Remember, that was not good.
It's been bad.
These movies are both DOA. They're both not expected to get $10 million this weekend. The studio has no respect for these movies. I think they're just putting these out just to.
So it's 21%.
This time last year, we
you know what's happening
were
next
getting
week?
Madame Web this time last year.
You know what we're getting next week? Captain America.
Captain America next week.
What is it? What's the bear? Paddington in Peru.
All Paddington movies have been good. Paddington has not missed yet.
I know.
Yeah,
So they're coming out the same weekend.
You seen them?
Paddington
I have not
3,
seen them yet.
Paddington 3 already came out in Europe, and the buzz is not great.
No.
Well, he did the Wonka movie, right? Paul King after he did.
Yeah, this is a different director from the first two.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
The trailer's cute.
Yeah, I'm
First
sure
two
I'll
good.
enjoy it.
He's trying to
but-
get his passport done or something. He has
Yeah.
problems with the camera. That's funny.
So Love Hurts, and then what was the other one? Sorry.
I keep finding this. Love Hurts and Hard Eyes.
Hard
Hard
Eyes. That's
Eyes.
the horror with the guy with the.
The guy from Scream.
He's got hard eyes.
Well, yeah, but but it has the guy from Scream, and then a woman, I guess, who was in Disney Channel
Mason
stuff.
Gooding, yeah.
Oh,
it's
yes, that guy.
Mason Gooding. I keep forgetting is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
Is that his son?
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. And
Wow.
every time I go to his wiki for
Now
something,
I
I'm like,
do
oh,
see it
yeah.
now.
Who's the actress? What's her name? She's in Disney.
Olivia Holt.
Do you guys know her?
I've seen her name.
Oh,
It's not like I'm super familiar with
I
her.
didn't know her at all.
Devin Sawa from fucking
Oh,
Final Destination.
And
Is that it?
Idle Hands.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
He's in
okay.
this?
Yeah.
Let's
that's
go.
what I was-
We're going to go see Devin
he's
Sawa. All right.
Detective Hobbs.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to root for
Dude.
Detective Hobbs.
There's a new Final Destination
Des-
movie coming soon,
in
right?
like a month, maybe
Yeah.
even sooner.
Bitch, do you want to talk about like the first two of those movies
Awesome.
fuck you up big time, and then just like a nosedive after
I
that.
gotta give them credit. Those Final they're dumb as fuck, but they do exactly what they deliver on.
Yeah.
Here's what it's gonna be, and they execute.
We're gonna scare the shit out of you. You're gonna think about these
Yep.
deaths for a long time. Like I still to this day, if I
Highway one.
the highway
one.
The
The
highway,
highway one.
fucks me up.
The
It
logging
scares
truck?
me.
Yeah.
If I ever see a logging truck, I will go to 10 miles an hour until it's miles away.
So scary.
Dude, it scares the shit out of me. Same thing, even like if I ever was like standing near a train track, and like, because do you remember Sean William Scott gets decapitated by
Yep.
a piece of sheet metal or some shit? I'm like, I'm gonna walk, like, stand back a couple more feet.
I always think if I'm ever on a plane and someone freaks out, like
the Tiffany Gomez thing, like I would have.
I know, I would
freaked
have
the
been
fuck out.
like, yeah.
Holy shit, I would have been nervous as hell. And that movie came out like, was it right before
I was in
9/11 too?
college. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right around that time.
Because it was about like they based that
It
off
had to
of
be before.
yeah. Because I think they based it off of a real plane crash, like the LGA plane crash that had happened. I think like a few years before that.
Oh, the one over Long Island?
Yeah.
That happened in '96. It was the year Dwight Gooden did the no hitter.
Yeah. So,
So it happened like- well, it happened like the same, like,
What a
month.
demarcation.
Yeah.
I know. I was
No,
16.
that's I do the same thing. But yeah, no, I think that happened right before then.
Yeah.
So like that's what they kind of I think.
Yes,
I
that
think
makes
that's
sense.
what-
'96, and then because I remember watching Final Destination in college, and I was in college around 9/11. But
Sean William Scott,
Yeah.
fucking who's the girl in?
oh god, that's she's hot. She's in Varsity Blues.
She is. Cast for the first one, Ali Larder.
Allie Larder.
Yeah.
I had a thing
yeah.
for Allie Larder for a while.
Oh, Tony
when she's in the
Todd.
whipped cream with the Varsity Blues.
Pilot episode of Entourage.
Yeah.
He hooks up with Ali Larder.
Do you remember when the kid in he trips in the shower and like the thing gets wrapped around his neck and you see
Yes.
like the blood vessels in his eyes popping? Oh, that's good movie making.
That's
man.
good movie making.
You guys are gonna really like the monkey.
Yeah.
It's very Final Destination coded.
I'm
Love
excited,
that.
but that's not for 2 weeks though.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How'd you see it so early? What happened? Look at you.
You got the
huh?
connections,
Look
baby.
At that, huh?
The
Okay.
one thing I'm surprised because we've gotten a decent amount of invites to stuff. We did not get an invite to anything for Captain America, which is very interesting.
What you see the embargo lasts until the day before.
I know. I saw
That's
that.
not good.
It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the
That's
way,
tough stuff.
world premiere of Captain America happening in London.
That's
Captain
also
America?
crazy.
Dude,
That's fucked up.
this I think this has poopy all over. it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be
No,
bad.
I'm trying to go in the open
Months of
minds.
reshoots. Like
This
it's-
looks like this could be.
They're
Harrison
gonna-
Ford's like, oh, I went and did the movie without seeing your script.
Yeah.
You don't put that on unless your movie stinks.
Yeah.
Or even spilled it.
He's on the not give a fuck tour, big time.
I know. I think this could be it.
We've talked about it. Why doesn't Sam have the super serum? Like, come on.
It makes you. We talked about it before. I was just like, you're just a troop. Like you're just a soldier. Like you're not really like a superhero anymore. Like you need to have one super exceptional thing. Like Batman, at least, like he's smart and has the money. You know what I mean? Like
And
one
Iron
thing
Man's
that
super genius. Like that's his superpower.
yeah, like you need something that 99% of people don't have. And like for Sam Wilson, he doesn't have any of that. He just has a suit, which
Yep.
makes you just a soldier. Like that's you need.
Why did they make this movie?
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? Like, what-
commitments, basically. Like
What
they said they were
commit-
gonna
like,
do
what?
it.
I don't know.
It's gonna print money. I mean,
Will it?
Yeah.
It'll have a big opening weekend. We know that, right?
No Marvel movie last year. People, right?
I think they did have a long break. I don't think anything in theaters.
Yeah. So
What's the last one?
Guardians 3, I think.
I think you're right. That wasn't last year.
Guardians.
Oh wait. What am I talking about? They had Deadpool and Wolverine last year.
Yeah, but that's different. That's a little different. Though.
Slightly disconnected from that.
Yeah, it's a
from the
little
main line. No MCU mainline movie,
Right.
I guess. But yeah, so Companions. Next week we will see you guys then.